And bringing you to the Tanana camera, and we're going to go to the east. Okay, if you start looking here in this area, I'm going to play it and you can see what I'm referring to. So if we go again right here in case you missed it. Now there's a couple things I want to point out. Number one, the obvious object here. Number two is the way the sun has been looking lately. It seems to have this, I don't know, for lack of other words, red in the background. I'm not sure. But I have noticed the coloring in the sky as well as the coloring in the setting and rising sun. Now, we all know that the red has become a lot more vibrant and noticeable throughout the past few years in the sunsets. But when I bring you over to the camera here in Savunga, for example, look at how we're seeing the sun rising and that red around the sun. Now, I've watched these FAA cams for, I think, almost 4 years now, almost daily. Maybe I miss a few days here and there, but besides just a few rare occasions, I have never seen the sun appear to look like this in any camera. And I've seen this throughout the past week or so. Mostly in the setting sun. This is the rising, however. It's just extremely, the way that the yellow and then the ring around with the red, I've never seen anything like it on these cameras. I know Mr. MBB333 did a video a week or two, a live stream about how the red sun was appearing to him in Arizona, and it just looked pure red. And I know that there has been, the Saharan desert sand in our atmosphere. I think that's past now. We're up in Alaska. I don't think that's the case here. Things are just looking different, and I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. Next, we're going to go over to the Ruby Airport camera, and we're going to go to the northeast cam. You can see this extremely bright sunrise, and then on the left hand side of the sun you're going to start to see the pit marked object that we're very familiar with. How big that darn sun looks. A part of me wonders if there is some kind of a reaction between our sun and, whether this be some kind of a stellar core, a dwarf planet, whatever the case may be. Is there some interaction? When we see this bright neon or blue colored, reflective, it almost looks like if you're in a tanning bed, and it's so bright, that UV, it almost feels like that to me. And I've noticed it also, with the naked eye in the past probably 3 years. There are certain times of the year, and it'll be maybe a week or two where, maybe it's 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. You'll walk outside and you'll see this, it almost looks like there's a fluorescent light in the sky instead of our sun, and it'll be there for an hour or two, and then it'll kind of go away, and then after a week it may be you don't see it again for another couple months or maybe 6 months, and then the next time it might be in the evening where it's 5 to 6 at night. I've noticed periods like that throughout the past 3 years. I wish I would have journaled them in hindsight, but is there some kind of a rotation with this or these, whatever it may be, objects, depending on when they rotate around our sun, that it's throwing off this just extremely bright, seemingly UV type of a light. This is complete just theory and throwing out possibilities. Let me know if you guys have noticed the same in your area. Now we're going to go to the Bradley Lake Cam, and that's down in the southern Gulf of Alaska. Southwest Cam. We start off here at 1301 UTC. It's be like 5 a.m. local. You can see a faint shadow of a sphere. Disappears throughout most of the rest of the morning. And then you'll see towards the end of our little slideshow here, it pop up pretty pronounced again, which will be about 9 local or like 17 UTC. You can see it here. So, 1 second, or I should say 1 10-minute frame, it's gone. The next, it's there, pretty pronounced. And then after this shot at 1732 UTC or 932 local, the feed was cut. You can see here it's missing. So it's a pretty pronounced shadow there. And let's not forget about our friend over at the Yukon River Bridge, the old standby who never lets us down here. You can see still here. Unfortunately, I'm a little early to get the whole rotation here, but as my time allows, I think a few frames is worth it. Not much change here, except for the red behind the sun, but you can see that it's still here, still rotating. Same camera. Finally, we're going to head over to the All Sky Cam website. I'm going to bring you first to the Georgia Cam, and you're going to see that blue UV type looking light like I was talking about. And then the lens flare that we normally see is much more red, almost fuchsia in color, but you're going to see that different color light. If we go to one of the other cams, we're going to see it as well. Go to West Virginia here. Still that blue, and look how pronounced the red lens flare is. In perspective wise, the way that we're seeing the cameras in Alaska, if this red object is sitting behind the sun, would we see it as red and then yellow if we're looking at it straight on? Just a thought. And I believe in Maryland, here you're going to see it as well. See the blue? It's very different. This is in New Jersey, I believe, yeah. Iridescent type reflection that we've seen before. And here we're seeing the blue lens flare more pronounced. But on almost every camera, you're seeing that UV blue looking reflection from our sun.
Hi guys. I just think it's really important for us to take a minute every day to congratulate ourselves how far we've come in our journey and just be grateful. And this is for you.